Peter Fitzgibbon from Ireland is in charge. Justin Tipperick is fit despite suffering a dead leg in that win over the Dragons on Judgment Day. Everyone ready? As Luciano O'Cara gets us underway in Parma. That's the Fijian at Tonga as the Ospreys try and set it up through their forwards. And they can expect an onslaught from their Italian opposition early on. Dan Bigger not finding the touchline. O'Cara, good pass out, and breaking the ranks is Odiete, the fullback. Zebre threatening early on. Bergamasco, the evergreen Mauro Bergamasco, 97 caps for Italy. Good start here for Italy. Good runners off the ball. They're behind the Ospreys back line. Now there's a chance. Unfortunately, the ball was out. No one there to retrieve, and a chance goes begging. But plenty to think about for the Ospreys as Bigger bangs it down. And a chance for me to say good evening to Gareth Llewellyn.
Evening, Ken. Bright start for the Zebra there, and perfect night for some running rugby, and they certainly made some gain line momentum there, and just not having a scrum half there to clear that ruck has possibly cost them an opportunity.
David Jason, the hooker, finds Bergamasco playing at 6. Years of service for Italy, of course, Mauro Bergamasco. The Ospreys, though, disrupting things. Has gone forward from an Osprey hand. They'll have a second bite at the cherry here. Leonard, 9 caps for New Zealand. His last, incidentally, coming against Wales a few seasons ago.
Vantage over.
Tonga under the high one.
Number 7. You've changed your line of running.
But Justin Tipperick, adjudged to have blocked one of the Zebre players deliberately, according to Peter Fitzgibbon. Changed his line of running. Didn't quite see that, and probably has given away a cheap penalty, Justin Tipperick.
Yeah, it was a knock-on further down the field. A little bit disappointed there with Zebra. I thought they may have tried something a bit more ambitious as a shot on the thing, really. But they just went short side, ended up kicking the ball away. Well, that would have been potentially advantage over, and as you say, soft penalty really for Zebra there, and a chance to take the lead.
Justin Tipperick, who might not be on tour to South Africa this year. There has been discussion that he will need surgery on a long-term shoulder problem, and obviously Sam Warburton isn't available as well. Luciano O'Cara, the Italian international, 41 caps for the Azzurri, plenty of experience then, and he's scored over a ton this season as well for Zebre. Great conditions for the kickers. The elements are superb in Parma. Kera took his time trying to draw it in and is unsuccessful. He's pushed it wide, so a let-off for the Ospreys and to Justin Tipperick.
It's an interesting point, Ken, about Tipperick's shoulder injury, because if he's fit enough to play at this level, then presumably he's fit enough to go on tour to South Africa in the summer. So who is pulling him out of that tour, and what are they trying to get him ready for? Is it for the start of the season or for the autumn internationals?
Well, yes, and it's a big year as well, with the World Cup culminating in the end of 2015. But you can ill afford to leave many stars.
Well, especially with Sam Warburton being injured, and you know, if we're going to go to South Africa and give it a reasonable shot, you want you know, as many of your top players there as you can. You certainly don't want to be leaving guys like Tipperick behind if he's fit enough to go.
Tipperick in the midst of things there in the tackle area, and he's done well. He's won it for the Ospreys. Bigger just saw a bit of space behind the Zebre back line. He's done well, the fly half. Now some quick ball. Baker, who's really been on form. There he goes again. Brings in a few would-be Zebre tacklers. Sam Davis looking for the ball inside. Bigger to Dirksen. Escapes the first tackle, and he's done well. Back to Dirksen. Good interplay there. He was looking to get the ball back to Bigger. I think the outside half was well marshalled in the end as Zebre bang it downfield.
Just got to keep playing at Zebre. I don't think they need to kick the ball away that much. I think you know, they look comfortable ball in hand. Ospreys put the Zebre under a little bit of pressure already. Run this Italian pack around the field, and I think the opportunities will come. So you know, without playing crazy champagne rugby, just need to go through the phases a bit.
And that's what they're doing at the moment. Haberfield, not the best pass out to Andrew Bishop. His first start, incidentally, of 2014. No scrum half, so Hannah Dirksen steps into the breach. Trying to use this narrow side. Ian Evans is dragged over the line, and good to see him back from an Osprey perspective, although his Osprey career is coming to an end before moving to Toulon, but certainly from a Welsh perspective.
That's right. Always been the little danger there, you know, with certainly Wales and anyone using a short blind side like that, get bundled into touch and immediately turn the ball over. And you know, he had one player in support. Why go down there when the rest of your side are back on the other side of the ruck?
It certainly is Gatlin's philosophy, isn't it? Trying to use as much room one way before they
but you need support, don't you? And they've held him up in the tackle there, put him into touch, and you know, it's the best defender in the world. Turns the ball over straight away.
Many enjoying the sunshine here. Strong unit up front, Zebre, and there'll be no pushovers early on, as the Scarlets found out last month.
No, they will be strong set piece, but I think the Ospreys already look like they got the measure of them ball in hand, and that's what they need to do. They need to keep hold of the ball, keep moving them around.
But a mistake there as the throw goes long. Chance for Leonard then. O'Kara tries the miss pass in midfield. The Ospreys up very fast using their blitz defence. Leonard dragged by Baldwin. And no room whatsoever. Tipperick in with a tackle. Dion Berryman from New Zealand. Leonard. Good tempo to the game early on from both sides. Options here on both sides for Leonard. And there will be an advantage because Ashley Beck was offside as Zebre go on. Dan Baker with a tackle and the steal as well, but there was an advantage played by Peter Fitzgibbon for offside, and I think, yes, Ashley Beck was the culprit.
A couple of attacking rucks now, and Brendan Leonard seems to have gone missing a couple of times. I don't know if he's at the bottom of a tackle or if the Ospreys are deliberately targeting him to, you know, once he's been in a contact, to get the ball away.
Former Chiefs player Brendan Leonard. But they've got a penalty here and a chance for O'Kara to make up for the earlier miss. Just to reiterate, 4 points behind Treviso, one guaranteed, of course, under the new system of qualification for European rugby next season. The Ospreys, of course, are the best Welsh placed and will probably be joined by the Scarlets. They're quite safe. They've got a bit of a buffer over Edinburgh. The Ospreys desperately trying to secure one of the fourth place in the league proper before the playoff matches. O'Kara again from the wrong side for a right-footed kicker, trying to draw this one again as he got the measure he has this time. So after an unsuccessful first penalty attempt, he's right on cue for the second, and the Italians deservedly up by 3 points to 0.
Yeah, and as you were saying, Ken, lots to play for. There's been a lot of talk about dead rubbers at the end of the season, but not this game for sure. You know, as you said, Zebre are playing for the Italian European Cup spot, and Ospreys desperate to get into that playoff spot for the Rabodirect.
Bit too long from Bigger, taken by Vanessa. He's certainly created an impression in the last few weeks. Try score against the Dragons and the Scarlets. And again, bit of an unnecessary penalty on the fringes given away by the Ospreys. And it just gives a chance for the Italians to relieve the pressure from kickoff. Let's see who...
Oh, well, we don't see it because we're showing the ball coming out, but I think he's done the assistant, or the assist tackler, the second tackler, if you like, who's still part of the tackle, not releasing when the player goes to floor.
And as a result, Zebre, through O'Kara, are almost up to the halfway line. Jason, the hooker, one of 10 internationals in the Zebre lineup. Leonard, good ball off the top. But Ospreys up very, very quickly again, closing down the space in midfield. Bergamasco, they're just shifting it on slightly. Out to Berryman. Is that forward? No, play goes on. Good bit of ball for Brendan Leonard again. Vanessa down the middle. Good charge by the Fijian. Trying to draw tacklers in before releasing wide. O'Kara. Again, the inside ball. Sharp Zebre early on in the first 10 minutes. And there is space out there. Great break. One pass, there is a chance here. And it's a try for Zebre. Rounded off by Venditti. The winger is the scorer for a well-crafted try. And the Italians lead by 8 points to 0.
The Italians are playing against the Bliss defence very well. You've got the Ospreys trying to come up on the outside and cut it off, and Zebre are actually using the inside ball to attack the inside runners who have actually backed off waiting for the tackle. So they're making yards over the gain line. They're going back down the blind side where there's shorter numbers, and in fairness, they're working really well with their hands. Great break here by O'Kara, steps inside Alan Wynne. Great take by Venditti.
He juggled with it, but a great score. O'Kara showed Alan Wynne a clean pair of heels. Great step. And Venditti did the rest. There was a penalty coming anyway. But just deserved, because they have been threatening. And plenty of food for thought then for the Ospreys early on, as Zebre get the first try of the match.
The Ospreys need to get back into this game quickly now, because the last thing they want is for, I know we're only 12 minutes into it, but you know, Zebre sneak another penalty, and as time goes on, the Ospreys end up chasing the game. So they need to, you know, they bring this back to one score quite quickly, and you know, certainly, hopefully, take the lead by half time. And
I know Steve Tandy and many coaches will say the old cliche when we're going for performance first, tries after, but this is a game they can't rely just on the win. They need a full bonus. They need a full 5 to just put pressure on Ulster, who have been dropping points lately. And not beyond the realms of possibility that the Ospreys could sneak in, but they haven't started well here. Sam Davis trying to use his left boot to good effect. Vanessa.
Stand still, White.
Not yet. Plenty of time on the ball.
Okay. There you go.
Dirksen out to Dan Bigger. Just spots some space behind. And it's a good kick by Bigger, pushing Zebre right back into the 22. Just what the doctor ordered, really, because they need some field position now. They need to spend some time down in the Italians' 22.
Hold the line out, please.
Yeah, good kick by Bigger there. There wasn't certainly nothing on, really. Good defensive line from Zebre coming up the pitch, but they hadn't covered the backfield, and he's picked that out very well.
Okay. We're taking the ball. Yes. We're taking taking the ball away, stopping them going quick. Okay, so you need to tell them stop.
10 points to 0 then to the Italians, to Zebre, if you're just joining us here on S4C's interactive service, live English commentary, as the Ospreys have travelled to northern Italy, desperate for a full complement to keep them in the hunt for a top 4 finish. Leonard with his left boot, good clearance, it's not, hasn't found touch. Tonga to Sam Davis. Well, that was a huge slice off his left peg, and not one of his better ones.
No, unusual for Sam. He's a good kicker usually, but very slow follow-up of the kick there by Zebre. Good box kick from Brendan Leonard. He did get good distance on it, but Sam Davis had an age to field the kick and get it away.
The monster kicker Sam Davis, 61 points in the Junior World Cup last year. He was player of the tournament, player of the year, the first one since Gavin Henson, from a Welsh perspective, to secure that award. Has gone forward from a Zebre hand. So with Justin Tipperick, he's put it down back to Haberfield, who again launches a high one.
It's okay, release and back up.
Chance here, half a chance for the Italian Zebre. With good covering work in the end by Hanno Dirksen. Still there though for Leonard. Right on halfway, Vunisa. Cycling quickly, O'Kera with a chip, and it's good work, good hands as well. Still there, hasn't gone forward. Geldenhuis, the South African born. Now there's a chance on the far side. Oh, unfortunately for Zebre, they couldn't hold. But they are playing some good rugby here. Zebre, it's good to see that usually you see the limited nature possibly of
well, they're attacking that in from the inside pass against the blitz. They know they're trying to be cut off on the outside, but there's an inside ball on every time. But what's led to this, the Zebre turned a line out over. Ospreys got possession, and on the halfway line, and they box kicked off a ruck. There's no ambition. If there's nothing on, if you've gone through the phases and you're still getting away, fine, kick it. But as soon as you get possession, I think there was one carry from a forward, and they kicked the ball away, which has led to this attack, which almost put Zebre in a scoring position.
So Quinton Geldenhuis, he's in the boiler room alongside Marco Bortolami, who you played with Gareth out in Narbonne. He's been a great servant, isn't he, for Italian rugby?
Good man, good player. He's done tremendously well, obviously coming towards the end of his career now, and you think he's just coming back from a big shoulder up actually, but was captain of Gloucester for a long time as well after Narbonne, did tremendously well in Gloucester, and he knows the game. He's a great player, and I'm sure he'll have brought a lot of experience to all the Italian setups he's been involved with. But we were also talking earlier about the experience in this Zebre pack. There's a lot of experienced internationals in there, and yet the Ospreys have got Adam Jones sitting on the bench.
Yes, that's a big call, as well as Ryan Jones as well.
And there in that first scrum, we did see the Ospreys tighten under a bit of pressure there.
Stay back.
Haberfield clears for the Ospreys. Again, a bit too far. Tonga in pursuit. It's taken by Dion Berryman, and the Ospreys this time win a penalty.
Clear on his feet, tight possession. Release the ball.
And not releasing is the decision by Peter Fitzgibbon. Good chase then by Natonga. Initially thought he was a bit far, but the result is a chance for the Ospreys to go 4 points. He's been a revelation since arriving at Tonga. 3 tries in the game against the Blues and a series of Man of the Match awards. And the Ospreys have decided to stick with 3. And I think that's what was the problem against the Dragons. They were persistent going for the corner early on rather than trying to build some momentum, build the points, keep the scoreboard ticking along. This time they've said enough is enough. And they're happy for Dan Bigger to go for the posts. Bigger then. Would like to see this sailing over. It does so. And at last, after almost 19 minutes, the Ospreys on the scoreboard, and they cut the deficit by 7.
Yeah, I think, as you said earlier, they got a little bit wrong against Newport, didn't they? A bit too confident, and they bombed a lot of chances, ball in hand, but they had the opportunity just to keep the scoreboard ticking over, and Dan Biggar doesn't miss many, in fairness to him. You know, his kicking percentages are where they should be for an international 10, so why not use him to keep the pressure on?
O'Kera restarts for Zebre. So high kick gives the forwards a chance to compete. Taken though by the Ospreys.
Stay back. On side. Okay.
Haberfield along the far touchline. Berryman. It has gone forward, and there was an offside as well. So
Number 11, move away.
2 kicks that have worked in the Ospreys' favour now. And what a surprise, Bergamasco in the thick of things.
Yeah, I think Berryman just tried an offload there, and the tackle didn't even went forward. So
It's last forward.
I was knocked forward, and that's why it's a penalty. It would be a forward pass if he'd have tried the offload. But
familiar sight of Mauro Bergamasco. His brother, of course, played for Italy as well, Mirko.
Don't get involved, okay?
I was saying that the elements are fine. I think it's the flies floating about the pitch is the main problem out there.
On the line for you, right?
I think they're everywhere.
Wait for the lace. Okay.
Scott Baldwin, who won 2 caps for Wales out in Japan, finds his man. Has gone forward, so an advantage. Natonga takes it on. Need a score now, just to keep the momentum ticking along the Ospreys.
Advantage over. 1 wide.
They'll have to use it now. They go on the far side. Biggar, Natonga on the scissors. Still there for Haberfield though, just a bit slow. So the forwards struck it up the middle. Haberfield complaining that there's an Italian hand stopping the ball coming back. Good work though from the Ospreys backline. Bishop, Biggar as well. Sam Davis, oh, he's just tackled. He was almost through. Still there though, still a chance for the visitors. Nicky Smith ploughs on his first competitive start in the Pro12.
After feet, right 3, leave it.
This is better from the Ospreys. Phase after phase, there are options. Beck, Tipperick and Beck combining. Beck almost going all the way.
Stay back.
So Zebre just hanging on at the moment. Baldwin with Baker there. It's the captain, Alan Wynne-Jones. Zebre doing well, trying to keep the ball off the floor. It's there now though, Haberfield. Well, there's some handy footwork going in as well from Justin Tipperick. There is a penalty.
It is a penalty. He'll be lucky not to get this reversed actually, but
I think, is he going to have a look at this?
But this is what the Ospreys need to do. They look comfortable, ball in hand. They're getting their hands free in the tackle, you know, either making breaks or getting their hands free. They haven't managed to get too many offloads in yet, but as a player on the wrong side, that's a penalty, and that could well get it reversed.
Carlo Damasco is the 4th official, the TMO. No, they're quite happy. I think that was born out of frustration, I think.
Yeah,
the Italian play.
Of course it was, but I think you've got to let the referee the game, and you can't lay your boots on a player anymore. Those rules have changed, so you've got to let the referee make his decisions and give the player a yellow card if he's going to be lying there in that position on the pitch. But this is what the Ospreys did in the first 5 minutes of the game. They kept the ball alive, they put width on it, and Zebre looked very unsteady. Since then, the whole game's tightened up, and I don't think it suits the Ospreys game.
Biggar then should slot this one over, and does so. So it's another 3-pointer, and it's down to 4 points the margin now. And good composure by the Ospreys in the build-up to all that. Sam Davis almost got through, just tackled on the vital time. I thought he was going to go all the way. As it is, they had to settle for 3 points, but they're back in the game. O'Kara, has it gone the distance? No, it hasn't. So could be a purple patch this for the Ospreys.
Yeah, they need to make the most of their possession, don't they? But I thought they would let that go, but Ian Evans has played it and it's worked out okay for them.
They move it wide quickly. James King. Zebre up in the Ospreys' faces very quickly.
And away, white one.
They need to recycle it now.
Release two.
Jason tries to compete.
Looks like they've got numbers on the left if they can move it here.
They try and shift it. Good work by Ali Wynne-Jones. There are numbers that are meant back, just collared at the vital time. Still there though. This is a good period for the Ospreys.
Hands on, ball is out.
The ball was out according to Peter Fitzgibbon. Dan Baker had his hands on it, so there's no penalty. Baker goes for territory in the end, and I just wonder, did they lose patience there?
Yeah, the Italian front five don't look comfortable when they're in the defensive line. Certainly the front row will be very uncomfortable if they're not standing next to the ruck.
The visitors take it quickly. Good work by Baker. High kick retrieved by the outside half. Unfortunately, it just went forward off an Osprey's hand. That was unfortunate.
They were retrieving. They were within law, they were retrieving. They were coming backwards, they were fine.
And with the elements, I think it's going to take its course during the course of the game. Just there, it went forward from Tom Haberfield.
Yeah, I think the ball was actually kicked into Haberfield's hands, wasn't it? He's unlucky there.
Let's go, let's go.
The weather taking its toll.
Is this the first put in on Zebra's ball? See how strong they are now on their own put in. But certainly they had Ospreys under a little bit of pressure for an Osprey put in.
Well, we mentioned Nicky Smith. He's featured well for the under-20s alongside Nicky Thomas, who is another one in the Osprey Academy. And between them both, Scott Oaten, who was on the bench tonight. So there is a good conveyor belt of young Osprey players coming through. But an early engagement there, an early push.
Early push, not steady.
And unfortunately, that just means that Zebre can have a breather.
I sometimes feel with the Ospreys when I watch them, you know, they're very heavy at the contact area. You know, they went after that scrum early, and you know, look at the position of the pitch they're in. They've given Zebre a chance to let the pressure off there, and I think sometimes the Ospreys need to learn, you know, when they can attack things and when they can't, whether it be scrum or breakdown. But they seem to contest everything and can come out on the wrong side of the referee sometimes.
And another mistake by Sam Davis, his second, means that Zebre are right down where they want to be. Another slice off his left foot. Twice now we've seen that. He's usually so comfortable. It's the strongest part of the game.
Yeah, it is. Really disappointed with his start, I'm sure, but plenty of time to get it right.
Only the one try then so far. And Venditti going over for Zebre. And all kicks then. Luciano O'Kara adding a penalty and conversion. 2 penalty goals for Dan Biggar for the Ospreys. Leonard. Vanessa takes the short one. The Ospreys well aware of his physical threat. Samuel Vanessa. Forwards taking on up the middle. Options for Brendan Leonard here, but again the Ospreys, well, I was going to say were competing well at the tackle area, but have given away a penalty. And it's Andrew Bishop not rolling away.
Not sure he is the tackle. It is difficult to move away sometimes. He's trying to get out the way. He's pinned in there. That's always an awkward one. You know, that's not a silly penalty. It's just an unfortunate one. I'm not sure the Zebre are going to make a huge amount of progress in those short runners off 9. You know, the Ospreys very strong around the fringes. Where they've made their progress so far is, you know, inside 12. You know, where the blitz is coming up trying to cut them off. It's a little inside ball.
a chance to restore that 7-point advantage then. O'Kara missed one early on, but has been on target since then. Really taking his time, Luciano O'Kara, but to good effect, as the Italians are once more 7 points to the good, 13 points to 6. The Ospreys just probably need to rein those transgressions in now, as
let's just cut the penalties out and don't be so keen to kick possession away. I think with the Ospreys, they've got to back themselves ball in hand, because the Zebre don't look comfortable in the wide channels.
Has gone forward from a Zebre hand, so they'll have some good field position here. No Richard Hibbard, of course, who's injured, and there's a doubt regarding his presence on the Wales tour. So Scott Baldwin, an able deputy, played 2 tests in Japan in the summer, or one rather, the second test, competing with Emir Phillips. So the Ospreys will just try and get a nudge on here if they can.
Bind. Set.
Baker with Dixon off the right wing. The South African born player getting over the advantage line.
We'll just need that ball a bit quicker.
James King.
Zebre slow to fold. There's room out on the left.
Still a chance for the Ospreys. Bigger on the loop. Sam Davis linking up with Natonga, but plenty of defenders covering over there for Zebre. Baker takes 2 to take him down. Haberfield again to Bigger. Baldwin, unfortunately, and the chance goes begging once more. Well, Steve Tandy and his coaching team will be ill-impressed with that, as Sam Davis tries to clear.
Keep coming out, Black. Retreat, Black.
Taken quickly by O'Kara. Leonard spreads it out. There are men out there. Just opening up a bit now, the game, as we enter the final 10 minutes of the first half. O'Kara, great kick. Just pushes the Ospreys back. Plenty of experience there, Luciano O'Kara. And the Ospreys now will be under some pressure.
Yeah, good spot there. Played a few phases, saw Natonga was up, bit of space behind him, nothing really on for them, just hammering against the brick wall, so he's put the ball in behind them and put the Ospreys under pressure in their own 22.
All started by that man's mistake, Scott Baldwin, knocking on. But, taken securely at the front, has been knocked forward though.
Advantage for a knock on at the line out.
Peter Fitzgibbon is playing advantage. Bigger under pressure.
No advantage.
No advantage yet. Dan Bigger just making sure.
Knock on to the line out. Let's go. Yeah.
So they'll have a second chance here. Dragons drew last month as well, 25 all. So
Both of you, yeah, push straight.
not an easy place as one would think to come.
No, you always get these, you know, the Zebras, the Connaughts, people look at them and think, yeah, there's a guaranteed win, and they're not. They're tough places to go.
Well, last season the Ospreys won quite comfortably away, 34-16, just a point at the Liberty Stadium in it, 16-15, the Ospreys won in the end. Baker does well from the base of the scrum.
Play on. Stay back right.
Bigger will go for distance here.
Stand still, Black.
And hasn't found touch. Play goes on. Not released, so it's an Osprey penalty.
Straight onto the ball, no release.
I think it was Berryman who was isolated.
Yeah, good turnover by Nicky Smith, the youngster. There's the tackle.
And Smith straight over. Natonga with the initial hit. Good Good work there by the young under-20s prop.
Binding by wide, is that correct? Okay. Yeah.
I think Berryman will be asking his supporters where they were. Carried the ball back well. Just needs a bit of support as soon as the breakdown happens.
Yeah. Out 2 meters.
Well, the Ospreys were in this position about 2 minutes ago, and it all came to nothing.
Inside
James
15.
King.
Maul.
Good initial drive by the Italians, but taken down illegally.
Collapsing.
Yeah, collapsing them all.
Collapsing the ball.
And no prizes here for guessing that Dan Biggers surely will be going for posts.
Pull it down. Shot a goal.
Portalami, no, it was Geldenhuis, rather, not happy with the decision.
Yeah, I'd like to see that again, actually. See the action replay, because certainly Zebre were going forward there, and it's very difficult to take them all down when you're going forward. Looked to me like James King actually fell over.
It looked as if they did well initially to counter the Ospreys' drive, but it is a penalty chance for Dan Bigger. It has ebbed and flowed,
Okay, just tell him no.
but no
Okay.
clear-cut try-scoring opportunities as yet for the Ospreys.
Yeah.
It's been Dan Bigger's kicks so far, keeping them within arm's length. Bigger. He's got the distance.
Oh, well.
Well, uncharacteristic mistake from Dan Bigger. He's just dragged it wide. And that is a let-off. They needed that one, because they would have been within striking distance then. Doesn't often miss Dan Bigger. And he is in pole position for the Wales 10 jersey, of course. With Lee Halfpenny not being fit, you would think that they would turn to Dan Bigger for his consistency, although he's missed that one.
Yeah, well, he doesn't miss many, as we said. I think he'd probably get that 9 times out of 10, so let's hope that's his last one.
Haberfield. Quick ball. Released by Sam Davis. Good hands by Beck. Dirksen tries to go on the outside. He's done well and just needs someone in support. Now they arrive, Haberfield. If they can move it wide, there's a chance here. Baker in midfield. Baker shrugs off one tackler. Great run by the number 8 in the shadow of the post. Now they must go left. They do so. There will be an advantage. Not a deliberate knock on. Beck, well, almost a chance of an interception. Well, it's all happening in this attack. Again, it's advantage then for the Ospreys. King, there are men out again. Baker, if they can spread it wide. Well, Bishop went for a kick. It's worked well for Dirksen. He's isolated though. Haberfield arriving now. Well, it's slow ball, and yes, the advantage is over, and holding on is the decision.
Well, Zebre got lucky a little bit initially there, didn't they? There was a knock-on in the tackle, and referee said it wasn't deliberate. Okay, then there was a knock-on with the attempt at the interception. If that had gone to hand, that may have gone the length, and then Dirksen just gets himself, well, not his fault that he got himself isolated. As we can see there, Zebre on the ball, and that's a penalty.
Just there, the interception by Berryman.
But again, Ospreys causing the Zebre defence problem with the ball in hand, you know, when they're playing with width.
Dan Baker in the thick of things, Gareth. I know Wales have identified him earlier than most, probably, because they took him to Japan last year. He's really been one of the standout performers in the recent campaign.
He is, and not just a strong man ball in hand, he's got great feet as well, so he doesn't just go charging into defenders. You know, he tries to get away from defenders, get his hands free and get offloads in, but when he can't, he's still strong.
Yes.
Jason to the front to secure possession. Bergamasco. And Skalwick, the main source of possession in the line-out for Zebre. He's won 5 line-outs so far. Chip over the top. Dirksen in position. Just a solid performer, Hanno Dirksen.
Oh, penalty, isn't it?
Accidental offside. It's not, because he didn't deliberately play the ball. So it's accidental offside. Okay? He didn't deliberately play the ball.
Yeah, went forward accidentally off Ian Evans while he was unaware of it.
I was actually wondering, because I think Marco Bortolami was trying to point out the same thing that happened to Zebre down in the Osprey 22, but as he said, he didn't deliberately play the ball, so it's just a scrum.
Ian Evans, who's on his way to Toulon, another one of the mass exodus going over the Channel to France. His first game for the Ospreys since that stamp on Mike McCarthy in the game against Leinster back in January. Seems an age since that game. And this time, Zebre win a penalty at the scrum, taking down. And that could be a psychological boost to the front five.
It will. Like to see that from the camera angle on the other side. See who's penalised there. Difficult to see from the side that we were looking at it from.
Well, it looks 6 of one,
well,
half a dozen the other there.
You know, for me, when it goes down on that side of the scrum, so that's the Italian tight head, the side that we can't see, taking down the Ospreys loose head. Tight heads take the scrum down, loose heads hold it up, and the Italian tight head's bearing down. It's gone down. Now, whether he's penalised the Osprey loose head for losing the bind, which is difficult to maintain when you get that much downward pressure, but I don't think that was a penalty against the Ospreys.
But a chance that comes in the final minute. So this will really raise Zebre's spirits going in at half-time if Luciano Oquera can slot this one over. Looks on target, and the flags go up, and that is the final whistle of the first half. So a 10-point advantage for Zebre at half-time, and they're good for that 10-point lead as well. And the Ospreys will really need to hit back straight away. An important first 10 minutes at the break then, as Zebre lead the Ospreys out in northern Italy by 16 points to 6. There'll be second half commentary live on the Red Button service after the break.
Croeso nôl ato ni. Zebre oedd bu ar hanner cyntaf yn Parma. Luciano Oquera yn rhoi nhw ar y blaen yn gynnar, ac feithon nhw ymhellach ar y blaen, a mi oedd y maswr yn amlwg iawn yn y symudiad wrth i yr asgellwr John Van Battista Venditti groesi am unig gais yn hanner cyntaf. 2 gol gosb gan Dan Bigger yn gyfrifol am holl bwyntiau'r gweilch, ond 2 gol gosb hwyr gan Luciano Oquera ar ddiwedd yr hanner cyntaf yn golygu fod Zebre ar y blaen.
Welcome back to SOC's interactive Red Button service with live uninterrupted English commentary with myself, Kenneth Davis, and former Wales captain Gareth Llewellyn, as the Ospreys try and forget about a disjointed first 40 where they trail Zebre by 16 points to 6. And Gareth, we were all talking about bonus points at the moment. They'll be lucky to win this one on the basis of what we've seen.
Well, they will, and you know, for sure they need to get the win, but if they only win and win without a bonus point, what they're allowing Ulster to do effectively is only having to win 1 match. I think the idea, you know, for the Ospreys would be win this with a bonus point and the match out in Connaught, and force Ulster to try and get a bonus point win or a win and a losing bonus point from their last 2 games against Leinster and Munster. So at the moment they're making life a little bit easy for Ulster.
And Zebre really came out of the blocks firing in the first half. Let's see if the Ospreys can do the same in the second. Baker, again, we saw that quick feed straight through the middle. Baker, can he go all the way? No, he can't, but offloads to Justin Tipperick. That is the try from the top draw. Baker right through the middle. The power, the pace, and the offload at the right time to that man, Justin Tipuric, and the Ospreys are straight back into this game.
And you just don't expect it from a guy of his size, do you? You see him taking it up, you think he's just going to take it in, gets outside of the 7, of the open side. You know, admittedly not a great tackle, but at least he tries to beat defenders, and you know, if he doesn't make a break, he'll get his hands free instead of just trucking it up and running straight into people.
Oh, Justin Tipuric just had a little wobble at the end, but managed to touch down, and that's a great start for the Ospreys.
Well, they needed that, didn't they? That's, yeah, it is, you're right, a great start.
Dan Biggar adds the conversion. The Ospreys right back into this one now. But Dan Baker, he's obviously got the power, but he can get behind the defenders so quickly.
And you know, drawing comparisons, he actually reminds me a little bit of Scott Quinnell. You know, not the tallest in the world, but, you know, not that Scott was short, but, you know, a big man, big square man, very strong on his feet, but used his feet as well to get away from defenders.
And that puts a different complexion on things now as the Tonga starts. Bursting through, chipped through by Ashley Beck. Berryman is back there to Odiete, the fullback. Ospreys up in numbers. Justin Tipuric as well, trying to hunt that loose ball. Leonard on the blind side. Just need to keep some composure as well at the same time, the Ospreys. Not go ahead of themselves. Competing at the tackle area, Justin Tipuric making it difficult. O'Kara gets it out to Dion Berryman. Streaming through the Ospreys, making it very difficult. Odiete, 2 men on him straight away. Natonga, one of them. Great tackling by Natonga as well, typically from a South Sea Islander. No way through here for Zebre. They look at 6s and 7s actually. Well, for a moment thought it had been turned, not so. O'Kara, half a gap, it has gone forward. Good work there for the Ospreys.
That's twice now we've seen O'Kara. Alan Wynne flying up in that channel, O'Kara stepping inside him, and the inside defenders aren't pushing up. You see he beats Alan Wynne on the inside there, but the guys inside him have got to be pushing on the inside. It's a little bit of a disjointed blitz at the moment from the Ospreys.
One of their strongest aspects usually, the blitz defence, so secure. But the blitz has to be so accurate. One defender out of line, and as we've seen, we saw with the first try, O'Kara just skipping back inside and creating the try for Venditti. That was the first try, and as we've seen, the Ospreys back in this one as Justin Tipuric went over for their first try of the evening. And that man Dan Baker surely playing himself in for that tour of South Africa as a second number 8, and great to have the embarrassment of riches in that position with Toby Faletau, of course.
Both great players with the ball in hand, and you know, the more of them you can get in your team, the better. I think he's on the plane for sure.
Well, there is an extra game against the EP Kings based in Port Elizabeth, so that'll be a chance for the fringe players to stake their claim. They'll take about 31-32 and possibly a trial match depending on the Ospreys' progress in the Pro12. There might be a trial match towards the end of the month between the probables and possibles. Haberfield, Sam Davis dabs it through. Good work here, but Andrew Bishop is up competing. Being controlled at the base by Zebre. Vunisa. Leonard forced to kick. It's a bit too long. Plenty of time then for Sam Davis. Long pass out in midfield is Biggar. Chance here for Dirksen maybe to stretch his legs. Dirksen through the middle. Tries to get the pass for Biggar. Well, Biggar was there waiting for the pass. Now then, what's the decision here? Was it deliberate?
Well, he's either got a great poker face, he's asking the ref himself to go up to the TMO.
Well, it was Ratuvu that came in
Oh no, well, in fairness to Ratuvu, it does come off his body. The ball goes straight into his body.
Well, Bigger was asking for the pass. He was in, wasn't he? And in came Kameli Ratuvu, the Fijian.
I don't think this is a penalty or a yellow card.
Let's see what Carlo Damasco has to say about it. Dan Bigger's asking for a penalty try, but I think that's too soon to say.
Yellow card if this goes into his body, so he didn't knock this on with his hand, so Dirksen passed this straight into his body.
Damasco has the decision to make. According to Carlo Damasco, it is a knock-on, but not deliberate.
Is it even a knock-on if it comes off his body? I don't think it is it?
Great bait by Dirksen, searing through the middle, and Bigger was there. And Peter Fitzgibbon said that there was a man on him, but I'm sure if that pass came, it looked a good bet to go through for the second try. But good to see the Ospreys using width and using the pace of Dirksen as well.
But it's where they've looked most comfortable, and it's where Zebre have looked most uncomfortable. So,
oh, the good shove on here, though. Oh, it's out for Baker. Baker does well, good work initially. It has gone forward, though. And that'll be frustrating for Steve Tandy and his coaching team, because they've got Zebre on the rack here. Leonard to clear. There's a booming left foot by Brennan Leonard. Hasn't found touch, though. Sam Davis, who's got another big monster left foot. Well, just little mistakes by both sides here. And
great
a chance.
Hands. Great tip on.
Oh, there's 3-1 here. And it's gone back inside. Well, that was forward. They wasted an opportunity. They went the wrong way there. There were two men on the outside. And O'Cara knows it.
Yeah, he didn't need to do that, did he? But you know, the Ospreys have got the ascendancy in every part of the game here, apart from the scrum. And you've got a man like Adam Jones sitting on the bench. Zebre have made one change in the front row already. They need to get Adam Jones on just to gain dominance at the set piece, the scrum in particular, and then the rest of the game will take shape after that.
True to say, the Ospreys perhaps haven't enjoyed the dominance in that part of past seasons.
Great set of hands there, look at that, that was fantastic.
But with Adam Jones coming on for, what, 35 minutes against Zebre, he'd fancy it for the duration.
And certainly the law changes have affected the dominance there, but you know, you start with someone like Adam, you know, you start with him, you get dominance up front, and then you bring on the likes of Jarvis to do the running around the pitch. Take the steam out of the pack first.
Yeah, still a lot of uncertainty regarding Adam Jones's future. Won't he be offered a central contract?
But that can't affect selection. You know, that's got nothing to do with it.
Oh, good break by Bigger. Chance here then for the Ospreys. Through Ashley Beck, because he got the legs, trying to get the offload in, couldn't do so, but it's there for Dirksen. Dirksen with a good pickup. He's fallen on the wrong side here as he lost it.
Great turnover.
Well, he was asking where was the support there, Arno Dirksen. The Ospreys shouldn't have lost that one. So plenty of opportunities, but right at the vital moment, they seem to cough up possession, the Ospreys.
That was close to being forward, wasn't it?
Natonga plays on. Haberfield on the inside ball. He's isolated now. Have to be wary here, the Ospreys. They have secured possession, though. Just opening up a bit
right,
now.
Let it go again. Every time they move the ball, the Ospreys, couple of phases, they've got Zebre in trouble.
Well, Sam Davis did manage to see that. Haberfield to Baker. No way through that time. And in the end, it all comes to nothing. Sam Davis, it just slowed up. And they'll have to settle for the line out in Zebre's half.
Took his time then to clear that, didn't he? could have eaten up a few yards there, got right up to the 22. No particular rush, not the greatest kick in the world.
That's David Odiete. 1 try in 10 this year, and here comes the cavalry.
There you go.
The two Joneses, Adam and Ryan. Not bad substitutions to bring on from the bench. Ryan in place of Ian Evans, and Adam Jones for Aaron Jarvis. Just to bring the grunt up front. And George Biaggi instead of Marco Bortolami as well on the Zebre side. So both sides now changing things round for the final half an hour. Haberfield, Baldwin, good offload there. Bigger. Andrew Bishop takes it on the crush. Haberfield again to Dan Baker. He's well marshalled this time. Again, they've lost possession at the tackle area. No penalty. Peter Fitzgibbon just had a second look there to see if there was a transgression. Just asking the touch judge on the far side. Oh, it is a penalty. And that's on the touch judge call. Just thought Peter Fitzgibbon just had a little look to see, just perhaps wondered how that ball came back. And they obviously need tries. So Dan Bigger puts it down into the corner.
Well, they've got to make this work, haven't they? They did this against the Dragons. And yeah, they do need a bonus point win, so 50 minutes in, half an hour to go. I guess you've got to back yourselves.
A bonus point win would draw them level with Ulster on 65 before Ulster welcome Leinster to Ravenhill. Up goes Ryan Jones. Here's the maul then for the Ospreys, trying to get some go forward here. Zebre have done well though. They've kept them out. Oh, it's gone forward, and how many times have we just seen those little mistakes creeping into the Ospreys game in the second half?
Yeah. They just broke out with them all, didn't they? I don't know if they needed to do that. Just sit on the back of it. Or starting to go forward, getting around the outside of the Zebre defence.
Incidentally, it's Ryan Jones's 150th appearance in the Pro-12 for the Ospreys. In his last season, a great servant for the region. He'll be going on to Bristol next year, as are most of Welsh players these days.
Recruiting heavily, aren't they?
Yeah, Dwayne Peel, Nicky Robinson, John Hawley, of course, on the coaching set with Danny Wilson now as well.
Mark Bennett, the Ospreys fitness coach.
They are really going for everything now, hoping to secure their place in the Aviva Premiership. You play down there, of course, Gareth.
Let's see how much pressure they can put on Zebre with Adam in the front row there. They're still doing well at the Zebre scrum.
Great control at the base, and gives O'Kara time to clear. And they've not been under pressure at all, have they, Zebre? And quite to the contrary, they've actually more often than not had the shunt on in that area.
They have had the edge in the scrum. The tight head prop, which Adam is, of course, is your anchor on your ball, so it'd be on the Ospreys ball that he would be more effective.
More substitutions for Zebre. O'Kara comes off, and in his place is another international, Thomas Iannone, 18 caps to the Italians.
Well, you'd have to think that O'Kara's injured, because he's actually played quite well so far, hasn't he? He made a couple of breaks, kicked well, missed his first penalty, but got everything since then, so I'm surprised he's gone, actually.
Dave Ryan, the Irishman, on for Cristolini in the front row. Dave Ryan, he'll be moving to Ulster next season.
18 away.
Just slow coming back on the Ospreys side. Haberfield changes direction. Just not penetrating at the moment, the Ospreys. They need tries, of course. They've got one now. Chance, though. Tiperick. Thought better of getting it out to Natonga.
Now they need quick balls. In the outside channels that the Zebre are looking uncomfortable.
Floats it out, but Haberfield runs straight through the middle. Great break. And a chance here for Beck. Beck and Bishop combining. Can Beck get over the try line? He's right there. He's asking for the try. Well, if he hit the post and got it down, it's a try.
I think it's going to be a try.
Searing break by Bishop through the middle. Great interplay. Him and Beck working in tandem. And has Ashley Beck breached the Zebre try line? Yes, he has.
It's a try, isn't it? Good try, well done. Good break, but again we're seeing the Zebre defence just struggling, you know, after a couple of phases. Ball's gone to the touchline, back up in the middle and then move it, and they're under pressure. Well, not just on the outside, but straight through the middle that time.
Great score then for Ashley Beck. Great finish. The hand goes up by Peter Fitzgibbon. Second try for the visitors. And a chance for Bigger to add the 2 points. Just what was needed. They just were getting a bit frustrated. They were having chances, but just coughing up possession at the vital time. And great break by Bishop right down the middle. And Ashley Beck on hand to score. And Bigger with a conversion means that the Ospreys are 4 points in front. 20 points to 16. And here's the break. Great line by Bishop.
The outside centre coming short there.
Beck with the
sixes
pass.
and sevens in defence, aren't they? The Zebre when the ball is played at them.
Leave it wide. Stay back wide.
So they're halfway to what they need then, the Ospreys. They need another brace for that extra bonus, although perhaps we're going a bit far ahead of ourselves here. The victory isn't secure yet.
No. Ball is touched by a spectator.
But they have been knocking on the door, haven't they, the last 5-10 minutes. They've had chances,
It's their line out.
just not taking advantage. A good finish by Ashley Beck. He was under pressure. The tackle came in, but the momentum saw him over the try line.
Okay, listen. First of all, listen. You guys,
He's another one, Ashley Beck, who's had his problems with injuries during the course of the season. As well as Andrew Bishop, though they've had big problems in the back line. And good to see both back working as a partnership.
And I'm still surprised we haven't seen Dirksen play at centre, actually. I'd love to see him have a run there, because I believe that's his position when he came over to the Ospreys. He's ended up on the wing and he plays very well on the wing, but I would love to see him have a run at 13.
That's where Swansea played him early on in his career. He's obviously got the physicality in to play midfield, real as you would expect from a South African born player. He's got to Wales via the United States, played under 17s and under 18s for the Eagles, but is qualified now to play for Wales.
Now is a great position for the Ospreys midfield scrum.
Another substitution, Marici for Gianzon at hooker. Options then on both sides here for the Ospreys. Great attacking platform.
crouch.
They needed to start up front.
Bind. Set.
Italians will be trying to disrupt here. They have wheeled it slightly. They need to use it now. Well, Baker did well. Well, they switched, the Ospreys. Bishop tried to get it out to Dirksen.
And away wide, leave it now.
Well, they've lost some 10 metres. It is there, though, for Haberfield.
Rock.
Well, they need to recycle quickly. They do so. Haberfield again out. Great take. Chance here for Sam Davis. Using the narrow side again through Natonga.
22 wide.
Need to be patient here. the Ospreys.
Yeah, just set up a quick ruck here, bit of quick ball, and then outside channels again. See, look at the gaps between the defenders in the Zebra defence.
Haberfield has to dig for it though. It's been caught at that tackle area. Davis floats it out. They need support out there. Bit slow to arrive. There will be a penalty here, surely. Yes, there will. And no doubt Bigger will launch it down to the corner again. Yeah, not rolling away quickly enough. And Geldenhuis gets the treatment there.
Yeah, very similar to Beck's in the first half, wasn't it? You know, makes the tackle, you get stuck on the wrong side, you're trying to get out of the way, and players are piling up on top of you. But Ospreys need to make this work now.
Well, we just saw Dan Bigger. He just was a bit disappointed there. He could have just launched that further, just a bit closer. Up go the Ospreys. Trying to get them all going. Slowly. It's the first shove. They will have to be wary.
Good job here to defend this.
Watch your feet, it's still up. Watch your feet.
Well, the Ospreys complaining that the Italians taking it down. Not so Haberfield though. The ruck is formed now, albeit a bit slow. The captain, Alwyn Jones, takes it up the middle. Now a chance out wide. Bigger runners here are not the best pass. Went behind Sam Davis. Ospreys just a bit disjointed there. Ryan Jones. Well, wave after wave here. Baker
again, calling for more defenders on the left-hand side there. The Zebra winger.
Baldwin is caught. Have to try and keep this on the field of play, and he doesn't manage to do so.
Yeah, just a bit of a lack of accuracy there from the Ospreys. You know, credit to Zebra. They defended the driving ball very well. Ospreys got the ball out, started to play, and just a little bit of lack of accuracy in their passing.
Black, step out. Number 4, Black, step out.
Well, they're still where they want to be, the Ospreys, in the opponent's 22. So they are within striking distance here. Well, they can't give any silly, needless penalties away like they did in the first half, and they gave Zebre.
He's kicked well off the base, Brendan Lend, isn't he? Has good length on his kicks.
Just lifted the pressure there, Brendan Leonard, because they were under the cosh, Zebre.
6 wide, 6.
Getting through the bench on the Zebra.
I think this is Bergamasco coming off. As we see the blood streaming on the face of Nicky Smith. Yeah, Bergamasco, his game is at an end. Ferrarini on in place of the Italian legend. And Nicky Smith will need some repairs as well. Well, how crucial will that period be there? Just managed to hold the Ospreys out, Zebra, long enough. As we enter the final quarter, the Ospreys obviously need victory, but ideally need a bonus point victory. They require further 2 tries.
White, step out now. Get him on you, space. Yeah, good. Yeah. Come on, please.
Baldwin links up with James King.
Bit surprised that the Ospreys are driving lineouts like this, because they have not had much change out of them, and the Zebra under pressure out wide.
Well, they've got to use it now.
I think they're playing to the Zebra's strength there by doing that.
Haberfield, he was under pressure on the far side. Good height on it. Hasn't gone far, and it's knocked on. Chance, half a chance for Zebre. They've got men out here. Berryman is one of them. Tackled by his opposite number, Tonga, and Tonga almost managed to rip the ball away. Well, that was a mile forward, and play goes on. I don't know how that wasn't spotted. Great burst there up the middle by Van Schalwick. Using the narrow side well, Zebre. Again, they target room on the far side.
No knock on, says the ref.
Kick by Anone. And Tonga sweeping. Well, the mark not given. Well, everybody's just stopped momentarily.
Didn't they?
It could work in the Ospreys' favour here if they can manage to get it out quickly. Davis goes for territory though. No one back there for Zebre.
Well, I think, you know, since the start of the game, the Ospreys have looked more comfortable and the Zebre more uncomfortable, with high tempo, width on the ball, you know, hitting the midfield, getting straight into the outside channel. The outside defenders for Zebre are looking shaky, and yet they're persisting, you know, driving mauls, you know, taking up the middle, pick and goes. And, you know, whilst the Ospreys are good at it, I think it's a better suit for the Zebre.
I think the Ospreys, we just saw momentarily there, the crosswind playing into the wind second half. Zebre, of course, still eyeing a spot in the European competition next year as the Italian representatives. High from Leonard. Good take by Dirksen, though. Chance here for the Ospreys to counter, possibly. No. Bigger. Yeah, again, not really getting some great distance on their kicks.
Seems to be picking up, doesn't it?
Just gone a bit flat momentarily. The Ospreys need to pick up again, as the Zebre bodies will tire in the end with just over a quarter of an hour to go.
But it makes you wonder if Zebre can get any possession and force a few penalties. Are they, you know, well within kicking range anywhere in the Ospreys' half? Nicky Smith, is it?
Oh, we saw the blood earlier on. So on comes Mark Thomas in place of Smith. Leonard, who's under pressure by Alan Wynne-Jones. Did well to get his pass away. And the Ospreys making it difficult at the tackle area. And Schalwick, Iannone switches it.
Oh, I'm not sure about that either.
They're not making any headway though, Zebre, and the Ospreys have won it back through Dan Baker. Charges up the middle. Now a chance here.
Again, quick ball, move it right.
Just slowed up at the vital time. Bigger.
Good defence by Zebre there. Bit of patience, go through the phases.
It's there for Bigger. There are runners. Tipuric is one of them. Tipuric, oh, he was well marshalled, well tackled by Leonard. But there was a penalty, straight down.
Oh, he's played well tonight, Leonard. I've been very impressed with him, actually.
Well, the Ospreys just asking for a card here, I think. It was a great tackle initially by Brendan Leonard, but then the Zebre forwards just came over.
Here we go. Good initial tackle by Leonard, straight to his feet, gone for the ball.
I think he's the one ploughed over by everyone else.
He's getting so much support from behind and nothing to support him in front. But, you know, ex-All Black scrum half, playing his rugby in Italy, and the way he's played tonight, he could play it anywhere, couldn't he?
Well, he's the one that's controlled things for Zebre. Just marshalling things effectively. I've seen those high Hail Marys from Leonard, really getting some good height on the up and unders.
Right, third time lucky then, Ospreys.
Tiperick is the man that secures possession. Now the drive comes in from the Ospreys 8. They're nearing the try line. They're over. Are they? No. Zebre have done well to keep them at bay. Bigger. Up the middle. Well, Bishop was almost through. A try must come here, surely. Bigger is stopped in his tracks, but it's still there for Haberfield. There are men. Haberfield, well, went himself. Alan Wynne-Jones has a lunge, and Alan Wynne-Jones gets there with the lunge. Third try for the Ospreys, and the captain, Alan Wynne-Jones, leading by example.
Well, it's been coming, but again in those outside tackles, some fairly flaky defence really from the Zebre midfield. Good work there by Alan Wynne. Good stretch, good leg drive. But it's certainly in the outside channels that the Ospreys have got easily the measure of Zebre.
Well, the try had to come. They had options everywhere, the Ospreys. In the end, Alan Wynne-Jones stretched and got over, and Bigger does the rest. So it's a healthy advantage now for the Ospreys. 27 points to 16, and now they have to put everything into getting this fourth try. So they've got 13 minutes to get the bonus point.
Yeah, and Zebre need to chase the game as well. You know, they've got ambitions of their own, so they need to put a bit of width on the ball.
As Jeff Hassler, the Canadian, is ready to come on as a substitute. This is where Steve Handy targeted and did identify that the Ospreys went down last year because of a lack of bonus points. So let's see if they can round things off in this final 13 minutes or so. Hassler on for Hanno Dirksen.
Oh,
trying to force it, the Ospreys.
yeah, but it's on. You know, it's on from deep because the Zebre have got kickers back. They've only got two defenders up there.
Janone out to Vonisa. Vonisa taken by Ashley Beck. Oh, good hit by Natonga on Berryman. There's been a battle there, all on their own. Zebre chasing the game now. They've got a chance their arm. It's tackling in midfield though by the Ospreys. Leonard, chance here. Half a chance. Leonard is straight through the middle.
Wow.
And Zebre have scored their second try. So easy for Brendan Leonard. And perhaps this game isn't over. And Zebre right back in it.
Well, we weren't expecting that, were we? You know, we were expecting Zebre to chase the game a bit, but there were too many missed tackles by the Ospreys in the midfield there. Great offload to finish, and you know, for me, the guy who's been the man of the match, Brendan Leonard, gets his just desserts.
But it means that the Ospreys, again, have got to concentrate on winning the game first. Here's Janone. And there is the offload.
People queuing up to buy this guy, aren't they?
Well, nobody was going to stop Brendan Leonard from that distance, but Janone with a crucial pop-up pass. And he has the chance to bring Zebre within 4. So again, it just changes the mindset again now. Zebre back in this one. They needed a quick score, they've got it. And again, it's anyone's game. 27 points to 23, the Ospreys lead.
Yeah, picking up Scott Baldwin there, pushing on the inside. Doesn't make the tackle.
Yeah, a bit sloppy defensively.
They've been vulnerable inside all night, haven't they, tonight? You know, one defender's flying up on the first receiver of Zebre, and the options for the inside ball.
Scott Oaten is on for Scott Baldwin, so that was the last action we saw of Scott Baldwin. And this guy has got a bright future as well. Scott Oaten is featured for the Wales under-20 side. Trevisan on for Brendan Leonard. Surprisingly,
yeah, he looked like he was limping, didn't he, when he scored that try? I think.
Well, that could only be an injury.
You wouldn't be pulling him off.
Oaten is with the green scrum cap. Well, the ball was out, so the Ospreys, well, they've managed to hold on to it. Into the final 10 minutes then. And this one isn't over by any stretch of the imagination.
No. Well, he doesn't have to play being stuck for the first 70 minutes of the game, has he? He's giving penalties away.
It's going to be a nervy final 9 minutes here. Ospreys currently on 64 as things stand to Ulster's 65, which one would think wouldn't be enough then. So they need to put every effort in order to get this extra bonus point.
It's a whole new front row for the Ospreys. Admittedly, one of them's Adam Jones, but two relative youngsters alongside him.
It's been wheeled deliberately according to Peter Fitzgibbon, so they'll get the chance here to get down into the danger area.
Yeah, but that's the difference Adam Jones makes to you. You know, going forward, the right-hand side of the scrum there, you could see Adam driving that side of the scrum forward. Zebre then trying to run around the corner to counteract it.
Just lost his footing on the far side. You see the distance gained. Just you see the funny side of it anyway. Need to be patient here. The Ospreys, they need more than one occasion. They've just forced things straight from first phase.
They need to go through the phases. I don't think they need to drive. Just get the ball off the top, get it into the wider channels. They certainly didn't need that.
Well, they went long, and one's got a question. Zebre have it, and 5 points would do for them, of course. And in an instant, the Ospreys, not only they've given away 50 metres or more and a penalty.
Now then, with the wind, is it in range to bring it to a 1 point game?
So disappointing, though. They again, they went long. Lack of communication.
Yeah. But all came from a missed line out, didn't it? Line out in attacking position. Ball's gone over the top. Natonga, in fairness, defended fairly well in this outside channel for the Ospreys.
I think that's Andrea Manici who took a knock. Six minutes to go. What will the decision be?
No decision made yet.
Seems to be a committee meeting in midfield. He's back up anyway. Zebre did push the Ospreys close in the corresponding fixture as well at the Liberty Stadium. Now they're going to secure a famous victory. They've got a chance. What's the decision?
They like to drive in more themselves, mind Zebre. We've not seen them have many opportunities tonight, but looks like they're going into the corner.
Not much to work with there for Trevisan. So the Ospreys, not only they need to dig deep, but they need possession.
So they look like they're competing. The Ospreys staying down, just defending the ball. Oh, another overthrow.
Mistake by Zebre. By Manichi. Haberfield goes the aerial route. Berryman did well. He had Natonga bearing down on him there, and they've really had a ding-dong battle, Natonga and Berryman. Now then, what can the Italians muster here? Vunisa in midfield. The Ospreys have got plenty of bodies there, though. Can they try and pinch it? No, it's there. Houghton. Now, Houghton did well to disrupt things. It's still there, though, for Zebre. Good inside ball. As the clock keeps ticking. Janone, who created the second try for Brendan Leonard, bit wasted there.
That needed to go.
And Sam Davis bangs it down to the 22. Back goes Thomas Janone. He's dragged down by Jeff Hassler, and they've retaken possession. Chance then for the Ospreys to counter. Scott Houghton. Great opportunity here. There are men streaming on the far side. It has to go here. Alan Wynne out to Natonga. Natonga, can he get through? Drag just short. They were a bit lethargic there, the Ospreys. Great opportunity. And it's been lost. Just looked as if they lacked urgency there.
Just a bit of support to Natonga. They put him away. Just needs to get to him, just cue the ball. Oh,
still a chance though. Sam Davis.
Here's the kick chase.
Haberfield. They need a scrum half now. Alan Wynne-Jones is there. Well, there will be a penalty because there was a lazy runner. Well, it's all happening out in northern Italy.
Zebre look out on their feet here, don't they? Not making the defensive line. They got no kick chase.
Well, it looked as if Natonga was going to have a walk-in at one stage there. They've still got 4 minutes, the Ospreys. And what a 4 minutes this could be. 4 minutes to salvage something from their season, to secure a top 4 spot.
Or to try and secure a top 4 spot, isn't it? It's nothing guaranteed, but they certainly have to win this match, that's for sure.
Vunisa, Samuel Vunisa's match is at an end. And the blunt stained shirts showing his efforts this evening. Yeah, they're all going down now.
Well, they need some fresh legs on there, don't they? But they pretty much exhausted the bench. But Zebre still obviously want to win this game as well.
Down to 14 men as well, so the Ospreys have that man advantage. Can they use it?
So who's gone off? Are they a man short in the pack?
Dan Bigger again. Perhaps thought he could have got a bit more on that. I think the wind is against the Ospreys in the second half. Volta now, there was an overthrow the last time. He must secure possession here, and it's overthrow again. And a second mistake.
I think they've got just about secured, I think, isn't it, by the Zebre?
By the skin of their teeth. But again, it's a second mistake, bit of inexperience perhaps from Scott Houghton, and another chance goes begging, but they're still there. Now then, third time lucky in terms of Scott Houghton anyway.
Well, I'm hoping here the Ospreys feel it's a bit too far out to go for a drive, because I'd like to see them get this ball away from the line out.
Again, bodies everywhere, going down like flies. And Zebre just hanging on now, just doing enough.
It kind of feels like Zebre hanging on, doesn't it? But Zebre need to win this game. They're losing. But, you know, we're obviously hoping for a fourth Ospreys try.
Plenty of movement in the line again. It's not secure. It has come back to the Ospreys, but they've lost some meters there. There's a maul now. They need to get this down, or they lose possession. I think they have. Yes, And that all got its stem from the line out again.
It did. I think there was some, in fairness to the Zebra, I think they put some good pressure on there. It wasn't a throw necessarily. Ospreys went for the safer ball, bit of pressure at the front of the line out, poor tap.
Well, was that the final opportunity for the Ospreys? And they did well to keep the ball off the ground.
Is this the final opportunity for the Zebra?
Well, time ebbing away here at Parma. Is there one moment left to change things for the Ospreys?
Bind. Set. Steady.
Secure again from Zebre. Berryman comes inside. Well, it's gone forward. Now then a chance to counter through Joe Bierman. There are men,
huge numbers on the outside.
On the far side. Tipuric is one of them. Surely this has to go. Still there for Haberfield. Bierman, who's come on. Mark Thomas now. This the final opportunity for the Ospreys to get the all-important bonus point. There are men out. Beck to Natonga on his own. He'll have to do it the hard way, and he's well marshalled into touch.
Well, 1 minute. And the Zebra have got to play, haven't they? The Zebra have got to try and get something out of it. This isn't holding out for a win. They've got to get down the other end and score.
Well, that looked a golden opportunity. The ball unexpectedly came back for the Ospreys from the knock-on.
Huge pressure in the line out here from the Ospreys.
Well, this will be the final act if they can secure possession here.
Is this going to be the Hail Mary over the back?
10 seconds to go, and they've got it. So that's all they need to do is make sure that this goes off the field of play. And we're up to the 80. Well, they're going for it here. And it's great to see Zebra's enterprise in the final minute. Could they nab this one? Well, there is a penalty. Well, Alan Jones thought that the ball was out. Not so according to Peter Fitzgibbon, who disagreed. Well, there's going to be a card.
Yellow card.
For the final few seconds then. Well, how crucial could this be? Zebre from their own try line. No time to go for the corner, of course. So this is the final act of the 80 minutes. Numbers on the far side. Ferrarini cuts back. And it's the Ospreys now being stretched. So the bonus point is gone. And they'll have to settle for a victory, but it could be that Zebre get the victory as they plough forward. Now keeping it tight. Within striking distance, 50 metres, that's the Ospreys line in the background. Doing that most here to keep the Italians out. Asking for defenders on the far side. And I think, have they regained possession? No, they haven't. So it's still there. Chance here for the Italians. Desperate pressure being put on the Ospreys here, right in the far corner. Wave after wave of attacking by the Italians. Straight through the middle, and the try has come. And that's the victory for Zebre, a dramatic victory, and it's Parazzini with the try, and look what it means to the Italian supporters. They're on their feet out in Parma, and that is going to be their first victory over the Ospreys, and that could be a victory yet to see them in the European Cup next year.
And that is the end of the Osprey season.
The Ospreys season has come to an abrupt end out in northern Italy. There was talk they were targeting bonus points. There's not even going to be a victory for Steve Tandy's men, and it's the Italians who takes the spoils. Right with the final play, Palazzini driving through, no one there, and that's a try, and that's victory for Zebre. Desperately disappointing for the Ospreys. A minute ago they were knocking on the door, they were targeting a fourth try and 5 points.
Well, it's hard to argue they don't deserve it, Ken. You know, neither side has really dominated the game. The Ospreys have had their chances. You know, they should need to go in and have a good look at themselves, players and coaches, because you know, they're a better team than they've showed tonight.
That's the final whistle. Zebre have a famous victory out in northern Italy, the first time over the Ospreys by 30 points to 27. The Ospreys ideally needed a bonus point victory. They've got neither. They've gone down against Italian opposition, and that's it for their season. There won't be a top four finish, and that's desperately disappointing for the Ospreys and for Welsh rugby.